Genghis Khan, the name that echoes through history as one of the most feared and revered conquerors the world has ever known. From his humble beginnings on the Mongolian plains, Genghis Khan rose to power and built an empire that stretched across much of Asia and Europe. But behind the legend lies a man of complex motivations. A ruthless warrior, a visionary leader, and a man whose brutality reshaped the world. Today, we're diving into the life of Genghis Khan. We'll explore his rise to power, his reign, the wars he waged, the brutality he unleashed, and even take a look at his personal life. This is the story of a man who forged the largest contiguous empire in history. Before he was Genghis Khan, the conqueror of empires, he was Temujin, a boy born in 1162 to a Mongol chieftain. Life for young Temujin was harsh. His father was poisoned by rival clans, leaving Temujin and his family to fend for themselves on the unforgiving Mongolian steppes. The boy who would one day unite the Mongol tribes started out as an outcast, living in poverty, hunted by enemies, and forced to rely on his wits and strength to survive. But even in these early years, Temujin showed remarkable leadership. He gathered a small group of loyal followers and began to form alliances with powerful clans. It wasn't long before his ambition became clear. Temujin wasn't content with survival. He was going to unite the Mongol tribes and change the course of history. Temujin's rise to power wasn't easy. The Mongol tribes were fiercely independent, constantly at war with one another. But Temujin had a vision: to bring the tribes under one banner. Using a combination of strategic marriage alliances and brutal warfare, Temujin began to consolidate power. He won over many of the Mongol tribes with his leadership skills, while crushing those who resisted. In 1206, after years of bloody conflict, Temujin achieved the impossible. He united the Mongol tribes. It was at this moment that he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. The birth of the Mongol Empire had begun, and Genghis Khan's sights were set far beyond the borders of Mongolia. Now with a unified Mongol army at his back, Genghis Khan unleashed one of the most brutal and effective military campaigns in history. He invaded northern China, then turned west, sweeping through Central Asia and the Islamic world. Cities that refused to surrender were destroyed, their populations massacred. Genghis Khan's military genius lay in his use of speed, surprise, and psychological warfare. The Mongol army moved swiftly on horseback, striking terror into the hearts of their enemies. Tales of Mongol brutality spread like wildfire. Cities that resisted were often completely destroyed. His infamous strategy was to offer cities a choice: surrender and live, or resist and face total annihilation. This ruthless efficiency allowed Genghis Khan to conquer vast territories with relatively small forces. By the time of his death, Genghis Khan's empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea, covering most of Asia and parts of Europe. But his reign was defined not just by his military prowess, but by the sheer brutality of his conquests. Millions were killed in his campaigns, entire cities wiped off the map. Was this the cost of empire, or the mark of a cruel leader? But what about the man behind the legend? Genghis Khan wasn't just a conqueror. He was also a husband, a father, and the patriarch of a vast family. He married several wives, as was customary among Mongol leaders, and had many children. His primary wife, Berte, was kidnapped early in their marriage by a rival clan, but was later rescued by Genghis Khan. Their bond remained strong, and she played a key role in the early part of his rise to power. While Berte was Genghis Khan's first and most important wife, he had many others and countless children. His sons played significant roles in his empire, with each taking command of different regions. But his family life wasn't without drama. Rivalries between his sons and tensions among his wives often threatened the stability of his empire. Genghis Khan's legacy is not just one of conquest and bloodshed. He was also a ruler who valued law and order, and he established a code known as the Yasa. This set of laws governed everything from military discipline to personal behavior. Genghis Khan also promoted religious tolerance, allowing people in his empire to practice their own faiths, whether they were Buddhists, Muslims, or Christians. Perhaps one of his greatest achievements was the creation of a vast network of trade routes, most notably along the Silk Road. This allowed goods, ideas, and technologies to flow freely across the empire, linking the East and West in ways that had never been seen before. In this sense, Genghis Khan didn't just destroy. He also built a system that facilitated the exchange of knowledge and commerce across continents. In 1227, Genghis Khan died under mysterious circumstances. Some accounts suggest he fell off a horse, others claim he succumbed to illness. His death was kept secret to prevent enemies from exploiting the news, and to this day, the exact location of his tomb remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Even in death, Genghis Khan's legend continued to grow. His successors, particularly his sons and grandsons, expanded the Mongol Empire even further, eventually conquering China and large parts of Europe. But none would match the legacy of the man who started it all, Genghis Khan, the man who united the Mongol tribes and created an empire that changed the world. Today, Genghis Khan remains a controversial figure. For some, he's remembered as a brutal tyrant whose conquests left millions dead and cities in ruins. For others, he's seen as a visionary leader who brought order to chaos and connected the East and West through trade and culture. But one thing is certain: Genghis Khan's impact on the world is undeniable. His conquests reshaped the map of Asia and Europe, and his legacy continues to influence cultures around the world. Was he a brutal warlord or a genius leader who forged a new world? That's for you to decide. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures. Thanks for watching.